You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
I feel like every time I open my laptop, I'm just getting hit with this fire hose of information. And then technology hands you this tiny little teaspoon and is like, good luck with that.
That's the perfect way to put it. We are absolutely drowning. And for founders, for marketers, the whole game has changed. It's not about adding to the noise anymore. It's about precision.
Exactly. And that's really what we're trying to do today. We've been looking at a ton of material about where marketing is actually going, past all the hype, to see what's really working for people right now.
And what's so interesting is that it's not just a tech shift. It's psychological. There's this fundamental breakdown in trust between brands and people. And it's created this huge gap between what marketers think is working
And what people are actually spending their money on.
or precisely.
Okay, so let's start right there with the money. Because the way people are spending is, frankly, a little weird. We're seeing this paradox where consumers are being frugal and indulgent at the exact same time.
Yeah, and Gen Z are the masters of this. They're optimizing their lives, so they'll cut back on the small daily stuff, right? Skip the expensive coffee, cancel a subscription or two.
Okay, sure. Standard budgeting.
But they're not just saving, they're reallocating that cash for these huge lifestyle splurges.
So what's driving that? Is it just, spending for persona online, or is there a different calculation of value happening?
It seems to be value. They're just not swayed by the old signals, like seeing organic on a label.
Right. That doesn't mean what it used to.
Exactly. They're looking for what some of this material calls functional splurges, things that actually measurably outperform everything else. They'll pay a premium, but only if it genuinely improves their life.
That makes total sense. If I trust something will actually work, that's where my money is going. Which brings us right back to that trust crisis you mentioned. Is it really that big of a deal for people?
Oh, it's absolutely critical. The data is it's stunning. Trust is second only to price when someone is thinking about buying something. Yeah. 59% of people say trust is non-negotiable for even considering a product. And get this, 74% will happily spend more on a brand they trust.
Okay, so as a founder, how do I build that? It can't just be a mission statement on a website.
No, it has to be earned. The biggest piece of the puzzle, about 35%, is just reliability. Do what you say you're going to do. Every single time.
Okay, that's table stakes. What else?
The next biggest is reciprocity, which is about 19%. It's about a relationship that feels mutually beneficial.
So what does that look like? Is it just good customer service?
It's more than that. It's more proactive. It's things like surprise gifts or exclusive access that actually benefits the customer, not just something designed to get them to spend more. And then the third piece is aligned interests. The brand has to show it genuinely cares about the same things you do.
But if marketers know this, why are they still missing the mark so often? I mean, the material we saw points to this huge disconnect in where ads are actually relevant.
They're stuck in old habits. They just keep pouring money into Google and YouTube because it's easy. It's what they know.
But that's not where people are finding things.
No. Consumers say ads are most relevant on places like Amazon, TikTok, Snapchat. That's where discovery is happening. And they're also forgetting about the real world. An in-store display, a live event. That's where so much of that foundational trust gets built, but the investment is almost all digital.
Which leads right into the problem of content, right?
Oh, yeah.
People are just exhausted. Social fatigue is real.
It's so real. You hit someone with another generic, low-effort ad, and they scroll right past. You have to lead with a story.
The Dr. Squatch ad on TikTok is the perfect example of this. It wasn't really an ad. It was basically a hilarious short film. It got, 57 million views?
And almost 8 million likes. But here's the stat that just blows up the whole marketing funnel idea. 99% of those views came from people who didn't follow them.
99%. So they weren't preaching to the choir.
Not at all. They created a piece of entertainment so good that the platform treated it like any other viral video. They threw out the entire advertising playbook.
So you have to set the culture, not just chase marketing KPIs.
Exactly. But that's tricky, right? Because you see brands trying to jump on every trend, and it just feels inauthentic. Gen Z can smell that a mile away. You have to start the conversation, not just join it.
And sometimes the most authentic thing you can do is, to be anti-marketing, I'm thinking of Cards Against Humanity.
They're the masters of this. Their whole brand is built on these absurd stunts. Selling nothing for $5 or literally selling bull excrement.
Right.
It works because they're making a joke about consumerism itself. And their audience, these irreverent millennials and Gen Zs, they feel like they're in on the joke with the brand.
It's brilliant, but it's a huge risk. You have to be so sure that your audience gets it.
Oh, for sure. You could alienate a lot of people. But even for, say, a more traditional B2B company, this idea of being more human is crucial. We all know most of those corporate mailers are just awful.
They're so bad. And the fix seems so simple.
It is. Just have it come from a real person. Focus completely on solving the reader's problem, make it easy to skim, and then, and this is the important part, treat your product pitch like a little PS at the end. A friendly suggestion, not a demand. And that shift in approach, it applies to tools as well, especially AI. I mean, it's everywhere in the headlines, but outside of tech and finance, actual adoption in big companies is, well, it's slowing down.
Wait, really? It feels like it's accelerating.
The hype is, but businesses are struggling to actually integrate it. The analogy I saw was that it's like the internet in 1995.
Okay, so we have the big invention, but no one's really sure what to do with it yet.
That's it, exactly. We're in the very first inning of a decades-long game. So the thinking is that the next few years, maybe 2025 to 2027, that's when we'll see the big application companies emerge, the ones who build something durable, not just ride the hype.
So for marketers, the takeaway is, don't chase a million different shiny tools. Focus on the big, powerful ones and get your data structured now.
Yes. Master the powerful agents. Like OpenAI has this new Atlas browser with an agent mode.
What does that actually do?
It's a game changer. It moves AI from just finding information to actually doing things. You can tell ChatGPT to go fill a shopping cart for you, or book an appointment, or create a support ticket right in the browser. It automates entire workflows.
Okay, so a marketing team could use that to, say, build a list of competitors and their pricing automatically.
Absolutely. Or you can use something like Vision Mode to get help. If you're stuck in your Google Ads account, you can just take a screenshot and ask it what to do next. It gives you immediate contextual help.
We're seeing this kind of structural innovation in other channels too, like in Gmail with those new deal cards.
The deal cards are so smart. Google is basically pulling out the key details of a promotional email, the discount, the code, and putting it on a little summary card right in your inbox.
So you don't even have to open the email. It reduces all that friction.
Totally. But here's the catch. It only works if your brand is using structured data, schema.org, to feed that info to Google. It's a huge signal that the inbox is becoming more like an app.
And it all comes back to providing real value. We saw that with AirOps, right? They built their whole growth strategy around webinars.
They did, but they were purely educational. No sales pitch. Just real, actionable tactics on SEO and AI search. They were selling expertise, not a product. And by doing that, they cut their enterprise sales cycle from months down to weeks.
That's some serious vocal technologist stuff right there. Using knowledge to build trust and shorten the path to a sale.
It's the whole model.
Okay, so let's tie this all together with the one thing that really matters, measurement. Because the numbers we're seeing suggest the whole model is, well, it's a bit broken, ad budgets are going up 33%, but purchase intent is only up 17%.
That gap is everything. It means we are paying way more money for ads that are having less and less of a real impact. It's proof that most of us are still measuring the wrong things.
So we need to move away from vanity metrics.
We need to move away from metrics that just measure existing demand and focus completely on incrementality testing.
Okay, hang on. Define incrementality for us. How is that different from something like ROAS, return on ad spend?
Great question. Incrementality measures what your marketing actually caused to happen. ROAS, or, click-through rates, they often look great on paper because they take credit for sales that were going to happen anyway.
Right. Someone was already going to buy. They just happened to see my ad first, and the ad gets the credit.
Exactly. It didn't cause the sale. To prove you caused new growth, you have to compare a group that saw your campaign to an identical group that was held out and saw nothing.
So, I run a campaign in New York, but I deliberately don't show any ads in Philadelphia. Then I compare the sales lift.
That's the idea, that difference between the two groups. That's your true incremental growth. That's the growth that wouldn't have happened without you. And the big news is that platforms like Meta, Google, and TikTok are all building these lift tools right in, making it easier than ever to measure.
It feels like that's the only metric that really forces accountability.
It is.
So if I had to sum up this whole conversation, success in marketing right now is about leaning into trust, using narrative to set the culture, and then actually proving your real incremental impact.
That's it perfectly. And that shift toward authenticity and these clear signals of value is so profound. Marketers need to look for these these unconventional levers. There was research that showed just adding a woman-owned label to a product increased how competent and high-quality people thought it was by up to 27%.
That's an incredible statistic.
It is. It signals things consumers are looking for: confidence, attention to detail. So the final question for you, for everyone listening, is this. Given how important these signals of trust are, what hidden, authentic signal from your brand are you not using right now to connect with people? You have to challenge yourself to find those livers.
A perfect thought to end on. Thanks for walking us through all of this. It was a really important conversation.
My pleasure. It was great.
Spoken Tech for your ears.